Hoi, hello. Hello, my friends. This is Paul McFarland again with another trip into Chiat via the 50 book. Mijn hemd, oranje, Nederlands, elf, Aren Robben. Aren en mij, we hebben hetzelfde verjaardag. Nou ja. 23 January. So, back to Engels. Okay, in the book, at some point I'm going to do an uncomfortable comment about this book, especially the last half of the work that's in here, but not now. I'm going to talk about two spots, one commercial and one other little fact that are pure Chiat. First is the first iPhone commercial during the Oscars. Hello, bonjour, all that, right? It's pure Chiat because they're flexing their muscles for Apple and for themselves and for the world of how Hollywood they were. Who else could have gotten all this? And who else would have said, we'll get the first, oldest Hollywood movie TV, all the icons, because you have to get the rights to the people, all the rights have to be secured. And that's the hardest thing about it. Some clients can have the money, but you have to have the clout. I said clout. And you have to have the guts and the connections. It's like my old thing I used to say, the Jeep bumper sticker, it says, it's a Jeep thing, you wouldn't understand. They need one for LA that says, it's an LA thing, you just don't have the right connections. Well, Chiat was showing they have the right connections to be able to do this, because these are international films, domestic films, and with that very simple, an iPhone. It was a master stroke to say, boom, look how big our is for Apple. And Apple's got to feel proud, to be announced with touching everything from Honeymooners, I Love Lucy, Jerry Lee Lewis, Marilyn Monroe, Clark Gable, Peter Sellers, Betty Rubble, Harrison Ford, my favorite French actress, and on, just to really show as culture went on and as technology advanced, all that, we are the next boom, and putting themselves in that space. Everything about it was right. It had the right pacing, of course, had the right kind of surprise to keep you watching, and if it had been put simply on social media, it would have gotten a lot of replays. So making the iPhone feel important, media and culture prominent, I couldn't have done anything better than that, I don't think. It's fun. It leads to something, all these hellos of which are going to, and then boom, oh yes, it's Apple iPhone. It's just absolute giddiness. It's just stoking that culture, humanity, and arts collision that, again, Chiat could do so damn well and easy, partly by being an LA-based agency. You hire an LA agency and you think you're going to get some celebrity goodies out of that, and they did. They dispensed a few of those over the years. It just shows that editing and getting the rights is the big deal. Someone can have the idea and dream up all the scenes, but can you get them all? Well, I'll give you a little inside secret if you ever have to do such negotiations. Let's imagine this is exactly the board, the script. And one estate says no. One studio says no. You say, here's all the ones that are going to be in there. These are all the studios, these are all the movies, these are all the celebrities, these are all that's going to be in there. You're going to be one of the only ones out. And people are going to ask you, why weren't you in that? What are you going to say? And second, when you're Apple, come on. You not only have the clout of Chiat, in media, but you have Apple behind that. So it's quite compelling, let's just say that, in negotiations to get people to do it. In some cases, you can actually negotiate for almost no fees because you're going to resurrect interest in something that has not been thought about for a while. You can get people to say, oh yeah, we got to rent that movie. Oh, we got to watch that. Oh, I love that. Oh, let's watch that. Haven't seen that in a while. All those ripple effects when you use culture itself in your ad. Clear? Are we clear? Then we'll move on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yuck. What? Okay, this is what I want to talk about next. All those little non-verbal things I may talk about at some point because I care about Chiat Day. I care about advertising. I care about this world. This Michelin campaign is one that I would say is not really Chiat Day-like, but I'll pay Chiat Day. I'm sorry, it was TBWA Chiat Day. I'll pay them a compliment. It looks like the best international campaigns from years of what the European agencies, South American agencies, some of the Asian agencies would do. It doesn't even feel American. And I'll point out exactly why it doesn't feel American. Where's the logo? Where's the logo? Now remember, some of the great Doyle Dane Bernbach work essentially had no logo, and some of the early Chiat Day work that was very much feeding at the altar of Doyle Dane Bernbach often said, do we really have to have a logo? Well, at a time like this, has something earned the right to not have a logo? You tell me. What brand is that? Well, if you can tell what brand it is by that, that means that all the advertising for that brand before them over the decades had built up an awareness that you could do that. And that is enviable. How many agencies would have put a logo in the corner and a website and some body copy and a headline making the statement about something that doesn't need to be said? Like the Nike billboards from the 1984 LA Olympics in that time. There's no text in there because there doesn't need to be any. The restraint that was necessary to do this, and in this book there's the story about the campaign. And the thing that was tricky about it, actually what makes this sort of an interesting story, is how hard they had to work and how quickly they had to work to get this done. I could read it to you, but it's a story called Channeling the Icon. Yeah, see the main cool thing here at the end. And with that, he unveils it. One by one, the room becomes a shrine to Bib. That's the character. The room falls silent. It could go either way. The more junior client speaks first. We don't have these in the budget, but the most senior client cuts her off. Guys, these are great, truly. That's what we all want to hear. He walks the room, praising the work, kind of selling them to his team. Then he surprises us all. Now, what's the issue? I thought we had already agreed to do these back in August. The idea is produced in the U.S., Europe, and Asia. A few months later, it wins the Cannes Lion, Michelin's first ever. We even get reimbursed for the initial costs. Ha, ha, ha. See, it runs in U.S., Europe, and Asia for a reason. It really looks European and Asian. The best of the smartest people working in the industry around the world who know how to restrain. And I may have mentioned this in an earlier video, but the great Neil French says, usually 5 elements in an ad. You've got a headline, you've got some body copy, you've got a visual, you've got a logo and a tagline. Well, if you can just do one of those, you've really got something. If you can do 2 of those, it's a darn good ad. If you can do 3, it's a pretty good ad. If you do 4, it's a better than average ad, and so on. So how many things were in this ad, really? Well, let's see. We've got a photograph, and we've got something disrupting the photograph. It's something reaching in from somewhere else, out in the world, out from, I'm not saying the brand name, or did I? World to penetrate that. As simple as this is, it's actually quite complex. All the decisions that have to be made to not do, and why it's better to not do. Not every agency can do that. Not every person who claims themselves to be an art director or a writer or an account guy or creative director can see this. There were a series of these, but there's a reason why that's the one that's in this book, because it's the best one. There's something about the curve and the curve and the curves and the curves. Again, the most European of all. Yeah, I'm not sure how much more examples I'm going to do in this book, although maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm going to have to. Life is short. I may have to do some examples from this book that I think are scandalously less than Chiat. But for right now, remember, doing something simple, coming up with the idea is hard enough, but dragging it, kicking and screaming across the finish line, getting it done and getting it done right, that's the realm of genius, that's the realm of authority, and oftentimes that's the realm of big budgets. Okay, well, doi. Tot ziens. Tot later. Bye-bye.